Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to the chemistry audio lesson part 1. Today we will discuss on organic compounds. So if you want to get the physical experience like the book, so you can check out the chemistry book of class 9 to 10, the secondary level. It is described briefly in the chapter 11. The name might be a bit different, but it's alright. So get started with the organic compound. So first we have to know what is an organic compound. So we know that compounds are made of more than one element at a time, like carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, sulfur, phosphorus, calcium, and etc. So in terms of organic compounds, we will only get three elements: carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. And the main element are only carbon and hydrogen. So, as the main elements are carbon and hydrogen, they are also called hydrocarbons because they are the main elements that makes the organic compound. So, we will get to the classifications of organic compounds. So we can divide it into two parts. The first part being open chains organic compounds, and the second one being closed chain organic compounds. So in the case of open chained organic compounds, we get a compound that is made of only, single bonds or double bonds or triple bonds or maybe any bonds, but the structure will not form a loop, a circle, or a cycle. It will not form any of these things. Like, rather, it will form a chain, as it's mentioned in the name, chain that goes from 1, 2, 3, and many carbons. So, at the chain, the first carbon and the last carbon is not connected or not in a bond in any manners. So they are separate. They're just like a chain, yeah, like a one-way road type thing. Like not a circle. You just go one way. So that is an open-chained organic compound. We can call these aliphatic hydrocarbons. So as I mentioned earlier, hydrocarbons means organic compounds. They are literally the same. Or if you go deeply, you can say hydrocarbons are a kind of organic compounds. So they are basically more hydrocarbons than any other organic compounds in the world. So we can like easily replace hydrocarbons with organic compounds with hydrocarbons. So the word aliphatic is derived from the word aliphar, which is in Greek, and aliphar means fat. Because in the past, the main sources of aliphatic hydrocarbons were mainly animal and plant-based fat. So the name aliphatic has been derived from there. So we can also divide aliphatic hydrocarbons into two parts: saturated aliphatic hydrocarbons and unsaturated aliphatic hydrocarbons. So what are saturated and unsaturated? In the saturated aliphatic hydrocarbons, we can see carbon to carbon single bonds, like the whole compound, the molecular structure or the structural formula, all things are made of single bonds. Like, the organic compounds are made of one or more carbons. So in the saturated aliphatic hydrocarbons, you get carbon to carbon single bonds only. And in order to write a single bond, you just write a hyphen among the carbons and in between them, and that's it. So suppose we can say propane. So the molecular formula is C3H8 and the structural formula is CH3 single bond CH2 single bond CH3. So if we go deeply into the structural formula, we can see the three carbons are connected to each other, are in a bond with each other with single bonds only, and the other empty valencies of carbon are filled up with one empty valency hydrogens. So we can compare valencies to a hand. Like carbon is connected to another carbon and it has three empty hands, right? So and a hydrogen has one empty hand. So each empty hand of carbon is connected in a bond with each hydrogen. So three empty hands bond with three hydrogens. So that's how that works. And for the unsaturated hydrocarbons, we will see carbon to carbon double bonds or triple bonds. The unsaturated aliphatic hydrocarbons can also be divided into two parts, like the double bond one and the triple bond one. Like they have a name for it. For the double bond ones, we can call it alkene, and for the triple bond ones, we can say alkynes. So, what's the matter of double bond and triple bond? So, in terms of alkene, we will see at least one carbon to carbon double bond, like not carbon to oxygen or any other elements, only carbon to carbon double bonds. At least one, there may be more, but you have to have at least one. So for example, we can say ethene. So the molecular formula is C2H4 and the structural formula is CH2 double bond CH2. So in this we can see that the carbons are attached in a bond with each other with carbon to carbon double bonds, and the other empty valencies are filled with hydrogen. So that's how alkene is formed. And in terms of alkyne, there's the explanation is basically the same but with a triple bond. Like we can imagine acetylene with the molecular formula of C2H2, and if we write down the structural formula, we can see carbon to carbon triple bond and the empty valencies filled with hydrogen. So that is the alkyne. So that is the end of our today's lesson. In the next lesson, we will work on the closed chain hydrocarbons. And in the next lessons that are coming up next, we will be working on some homologous series and some fundamental groups and the nomenclature of these types of compounds. So stay tuned with this channel. If you like this video, make sure to like this video by pressing the like icon, and don't forget to subscribe this channel and share this with your friends. So see you in the next lesson. Bye.